All right, so let's know what user research is, the importance, where we can use it, and how we can conduct user research. Okay, so user experience research, which is UX research, is a systematic study of your users and their requirements. That's your target users or audience and their requirements. This would help you to add content and insights to your design processes. So you can apply user research at the beginning stage of your design process. That is, you conduct user research at the beginning stage of your design processes. So there are different ways in which you conduct this user research, and we'll be we'll be talking about them as the class goes on. So user research begins with a qualitative measure, and this qualitative measure helps you to determine the motivations, the needs, and the wants of the users. Then, after you've conducted your qualitative, after you've carried out your qualitative measures, you go ahead with the quantitative measures. And this quantitative measures helps you to get the user input in in form of numbers. Yeah, in form of numbers, while the qualitative measures help you to see the needs, wants, motivations, and the likes of that particular users. So for us to do user research very well, we have to take a very structured approach to do this. And the first thing we want to have in mind is the purpose of our research. We want to always have the purpose of our research in mind so that we do not leave that purpose and start doing something else. Then the second thing we also want to have in mind is we are conducting this particular research to give the clearest information to our users when we finally develop a solution to their problems, so that all our findings and everything would be able to add value to our design. So, what are the types of user research? Can you hear me, please? Let me know I'm not talking to myself. All right. Is Adele be here? Okay, she's here. All right, no problem. Let's continue then. So, what are the types of user research that we have? We have two major types of user research. The first one is the qualitative user research. And what does this qualitative user research involve? It involves us using methods such as interviews, surveys, and the rest to get feedback from users. What type of feedback do we get from them? Feedback like how they feel when they use a particular product or a website or an application, how they feel after using it. So this is what we use qualitative research for. So another aspect of qualitative research is the usability testing, which we try to, after developing our product, we can go back to the users and get their input as to whether the product we develop is okay for them to use or not. That is usability testing. So that is that about qualitative research. Then the second type of user research is the quantitative research. This involves analytics and surveys that we gather from a measurable amount of data from the users. For example, we can give users an online survey to answer questions about, let's say, an exercise habit. For example, we could ask them things like, how many hours do you work out per day? We would conduct that survey online by using either Google form. I would make a video and show you how to use Google Form because you actually need to use it for your survey. That will be part of your project. So doing this to find out you're doing this to find out a pattern among different users. You're not just asking one person, you're asking a group of people, in fact a lot of people, when you're conducting these surveys. So um no matter the method you're using, whether you're using qualitative research, whether you're using quantitative research, you should always have in mind that the objective is for you to get clear responses from your users so that you can be able to tailor the needs of these users into the particular product you're trying to design. So that is something you should always have in mind, no matter which one you're using. And have in mind that it is not a must for you to use all the methods. You could make research about the product you want to develop or you want to design and determine which of the research method would work best for you. Which of the research method will work best for you. So in user research, we have different approaches that we could use. We have the attitudinal approach and we also have the behavioral approach. For the attitudinal, you want to pay attention or listen to your users and hear what they say. How do you hear what they say? How do you conduct and how do you use the attitudinal approach? You do this by conducting interviews. You conduct live interviews. You can meet them one on one. You can call them. You could do a video call, a voice call, and stuffs like that. So you conduct interviews to know what they think about this particular product, how they use this particular product, how they feel about using this particular product, and stuffs like that. So for the behavioral approach, you do this to see what the users do. You want to see the type of actions they carry out when they use a particular product. So you have to observe. The first one, the attitudinal, you conduct interviews, but for the behavioral, you have to observe these users and know the type of actions they use in a particular product. So when you use a mix of both quantitative and qualitative research, as well as these approaches we just talked about, the attitudinal and behavioral approaches, you can easily get the most precise view of a design problem. You can easily come out with the perfect solution for a problem that your users have. So you want to remember the qualitative research, the quantitative research, the attitudinal approach, and the behavioral approach. So those are things you want to remember. Now, what are the methods that we use to conduct research? We use UX user experience research methods to conduct research. So what are these methods? The first one, which we always talk about, and we've talked about it even the first time we started the class. I think it was a free class also. We have the first one is discover. And how do you discover? The discovery phase involves you determining what is relevant for your user, what your users need, what will work for them. So this is the discover method. Then you have the contextual inquiries. How do you do this one, or how do you use this method? You do this by interviewing suitable users in their own environment to see how they perform a particular task. And you have the diary studies. How do you do this? How do you use this method? You want to meet your users and tell them to record their daily interactions, maybe just a few group of people, and tell them to record their daily interactions with a design or a product, and how they feel about it. Then you also have the explore method. You examine how to address all your users' needs. After you've gone to them and you've used the discover method for them, under explore, you now want to use all those things you've discovered from them. You examine them one by one to know how you can address each and every one of their needs while developing that particular product. Then you also have the card sorting method. You write words and phrases on a card, then you let your users or your audience organize this card in the most meaningful way and label these cards in different categories to show where they have issues or where they don't have issues. So this is card sorting. Remember what I said in the beginning. All these methods, you really don't need to use all of them, but you need to know what they are and how to use them. And you should also know that aside from this class, you should do your research. You should do your research because things change every day and we have new modification to a lot of things. So you want to stay up to date. So what other methods do we have? We have the customer journey map, we have the test, we have accessibility evaluations. We also have listening, we also have survey and questionnaires, and we also have analytics. So you read all these things on your own when I give you the material, and you can also make your research. Do we have questions? Do we have questions before I proceed, please? Okay, none yet. So, whichever UX method you choose to use, you need to consider that it has pros and cons. So different techniques have their good side and they also have their bad side, their advantages and their disadvantages. For instance, when we talk about the card sorting method, it is cheap and it is easy to do, but it can be time consuming because you have to meet people and start telling them to do this, do that, and they too, it's consuming their time. So many people would not want to do that or listen to you because each and every one of us were busy. So, but for the card sorting method, it also gives you in-depth meaning of the problems of your users. It gives you in-depth meaning of the problems of your users because they are taking their time to personally write these things and sort them out for you. Then another constraint for the card sorting method is your available resources because these resources will show how much and which type of user research you can do. So it's left for you to decide carefully which of this method would work best for a particular product you're working on. But there's something you should also put in mind, when as a product designer, you should have a team that you're working with. For example, you have the developers in your team, you have the project management team, and the rest. You have them all in your team, and you also have people who own that particular product. So when you want to determine which of the user research method would work best for that product, you have to consult those people, consult them, and they might even be able to help you to know the best research that would work for that particular line of business, or that would help you achieve that business goal while creating the product. So, yeah. So, the first step we'll be talking about in user experience is the empathy mapping. The empathy mapping, I'm sure you've heard of this. So, what is the empathy mapping? Empathy mapping is or empathy map is a tool that helps you understand what your user is thinking, feeling, hearing, and saying. This empathy map is used to know or visualize what is known by the users, and it helps you create a shared understanding of the needs of your users. It helps you ensure that you make a better decision when you want to create the solution to your users' problems. So, what are the importance of this empathy map? Empathy map helps you prioritize your users' needs. Empathy map helps you communicate to the producers, that is the developers, sorry. It helps you communicate to the developers of that particular product you have designed. And empathy map is also the first step towards creating a user persona. We're going to talk about persona shortly. So, this is the first step in user experience, that is UX, is empathy mapping. So, how do you create an empathy map? How do you create an empathy map? You do so by conducting interviews, yeah? You do so by conducting interviews, and in that interview, you ask questions such as, how does it make you feel? That is, this particular product, how does it make you feel? Do you dislike this product? What do you like about this product? What don't you like about this product? So when you ask them, they list all those things for you. They list all those things for you. So I'm going to show you how you can create an empathy map. I'll share my screen shortly and we'll do it together. So the case study we'll be using is a coffee shop, or a coffee customer. I think so. Yeah, a coffee customer. So hold on. Can you see my screen? Hello, can you see my screen? All right. So go ahead, open your Figma app, and let's create an empathy map together. Alright, so how do you create an empathy map? Empathy map has four quadrants, and the four quadrants are says, thinks, feels, and does. For the says, it includes what the user, the particular user that you're conducting the empathy map for, says. What is the person saying about that particular product? Why is the person using that particular product? And things like that. So for the things, what does the person think? Then for feel, how does the person feel? Um, that's the feeling that led to the person using that particular product. Then for does, it includes the actions that that particular user carries out, either day-to-day action that leads to that user using that particular product and stuff like that. So we're using um, a case study. You should always remember for your empathy map, you give your user a name. Let's say maybe let's use root for example. You give your user a name. Then you draw your four quadrants. For the empathy map, you draw your four quadrants. So let me go ahead and draw the four quadrants. Okay. So your user should be at the center because this person is who you're focusing on. And your user should also have an image. So let's go ahead and use a plugin, use Unsplash and get an image inside there. You all know how to do that, so go ahead and do it. It's still loading, so let's wait for it to load. So you could choose to use any image you want. I don't want to use a man. Okay, so this is my user. So what is the name of my user? We said root, right? Alright, so this is my user. So imagine root is a person who always drinks coffee in the morning. So Ruth is a person who always drinks coffee in the morning, right? Let me write out all the four quadrants for you so you could see it and continue with our route. So here should be says, Here should be things, and here should be feels, and here should be does. So these are the four quadrants or of your empathy map. So Ruth is a regular coffee drinker. She goes to work every morning very early, and she hates being late to work. She hates standing on a queue. She uses her phone regularly. Now, we want to arrange all these things inside the says, think, does, and feel quadrants, okay? So, Ruth orders her coffee online. She orders her coffee online, and while walking to work, she always walk, okay? She doesn't take the taxi. So while walking to work, she just stops at the coffee shop and picks up her coffee after ordering it. So she orders it online because she doesn't want to wait on the queue because of people are there in the morning, the early morning, those who are like her, who like drinking coffee. So she orders it and just go for pickup. Yeah, she likes picking up her coffee. She doesn't want it delivered to her because she wants to see the type of coffee and know if they did not miss her order. Okay. So now in the says quadrant, all these things I've said now, we can see from all these things now, we can see that Ruth wants convenience. Mm? She doesn't want to be inconvenienced. That is waiting on the queue. That is why she orders her coffee in the morning with her phone. Yeah. So what would you do with that information? You come here, you write it. Okay. You write. Let's just say wants convenience. Okay, that is one says that we've gotten. One thing you should also know for empathy map, you shouldn't actually stress yourself as to where you will put a particular thing, okay? Do not stress yourself too much. As far as you conduct that interview, it is going to be easy for you to know where you put your says, your think, does, and feels. So don't stress it. So she says also from the interview, Ruth says she likes to use her phone. Okay, she likes to use her phone. She's a strong phone user, and that is why she orders her coffee online. Because she knows she can use her phone to do so. So that is another says we want to put there. So you can put it here. So yeah. So now for the thing. So Ruth thinks she doesn't have time to stay in long queues or long lines, and that is why she orders her coffee first before going to pick it up. Okay. she doesn't want to stay in long lines. So in this think, we can write it there. Doesn't have time or patience for long lines. Anyhow you want to put it. Okay, so we can all just conclude that Ruth loves caffeine. Without caffeine, she cannot function because she always takes coffee in the morning. In the morning before going to work, she always take coffee. So that means she thinks she needs caffeine or coffee to function properly. That is what she thinks. So you could also add that to your empathy map. So we all know what empathy is. Empathy is you putting yourself in the position or shoes of your user. So you're doing this now to know what that user actually feel, what the user to know what the user says, to know what the user thinks, to know what the user does, things like that. So that is why you're doing this empathy map to enable you get proper functional features of your product that would help this user. So let's say you are creating an ordering app, you're creating an ordering app, something that Roots can use to order coffee from the convenience of a house. So that is why you're asking and conducting this particular interview now to know what your users they think. So we can put needs caffeine or coffee, anyone to function. So, what are her feelings? What are her feelings after conducting this interview? What does she feel? All those things I've said now. From all those things I've said, we can see that Ruth is someone who is actually impatient because she doesn't like to wait on the line or the queue. So we could put it there. Impatient. Ruth feels impatient. Then, yeah, you could put that and look for other things too that she feels and puts there. So what does Ruth do? What does she do? She drinks coffee every day. She drinks coffee every day. She drinks coffee every morning. She walks. She walks to work, and she uses her phone. She's a heavy smartphone user. So these are things that Ruth does. These are actions that Ruth performs. So you don't want to omit that. You also put that in your empathy map. So for a particular product, you can have several empathy maps, but it's always very advisable to select two from that several empathy maps you've conducted or interviews you've conducted and use two for your project, or just try to categorize all of them into two categories. Okay, these people, this group, they belong here, and this group they belong here. Maybe this particular group they want to um, stay in the queue, or maybe they like their coffee to be delivered to them. They don't want to pick it up and stuff like that. So you don't want to make your empathy map too big or too broad, because it might make you lose the actual information that you're looking for. So what are the things that Ruth does? She drinks coffee every day, or she drinks coffee every morning. So you can write that. Drinks coffee sorry. So what else does Ruth do? So she walks to work. Ruth is a heavy phone user. So our empathy map is ready. We've gotten what Ruth says, we've gotten what Ruth thinks, we've got what she does, and we've gotten how she feels. Okay, so this is how you create an empathy map for a particular product you're trying to develop. You focus on a set of group or a particular person and create an empathy map um, for that person. So with this information now, you can get some features that you can add to your app. Okay, you get maybe from here you see that okay, this delivery, oh sorry, ordering app I want to create. I'm creating it because people don't like waiting in the queue. People like staying in the convenience of their home to other things. People are actually busy. So all these things you add them into your features. It will make you use features that would solve the problem of these users that you're creating the product for. So that is that about empathy map. You could do more research and know how you can create different type of empathy map. Okay, so the next we'll be talking about personas. What are personas? These are profile. Personas are profile that represent your primary user, your primary users, your primary user or users. These users would have or exhibit the same character or similar goals and attitude towards your product. They are they are humans, obviously. You want to use humans for your personas. You can't use robots. You can't use animals. So you have to use humans to create your personas. So why do you need personas? Personas help you to know who you're creating your products for. Personas help you to know, it helps your team to know how they can navigate the design and the features, and it also help you come up with a decision that would help you meet the need and desires of your core users. Okay, and persona also helps you settle disputes among the product team, the design team, and the rest, because you have already conducted research and interviews and the rest about these users who would make your product grow or sell in the market. So when your team are arguing about the features and the rest, you already know it. You already know what work best. So personas help you resolve this type of issues and the rest. So, what are the type of personas that we have? We have marketing personas. We have UX as user experience personas, which is what we are talking about now. So, user experience persona help the product team empathize. Remember what I said empathy is or empathizing is. So it helps the product team empathize with a real group of people to understand the real goals and aspirations and motivations of those set of people. Mm. So yeah, we're talking about UX personas. So you can browse later about what marketing personas are. You don't really need them, but you could still browse about them. So you should also know that too many personas, just like your empathy map, you don't want to create too many personas because too many personas will make the team lose focus on the particular user or the core users that will use that product. So if you're creating too many personas, it would make your team have a hard time to reference back or use the informations that you've gotten. So for you to create an effective persona, you want to use 5 user per product type. So let's say for this ordering app that we want to create, we could use just 5 personas. Okay, we could use just 5 people for our persona, or less than 5. You could use 2, you could use 3, and the likes. So using too much persona is not good. So how do you create personas? You do so by conducting interviews too. You conduct interviews and brainstorming session with your team. Then you conduct interviews with people to know their goals, to get their behaviors and the rest. So we are going to create a persona now. We're going to create a persona so that you see how to create one. So just hold on. Are we still there? Hello, are you guys hearing me? All right. Are you understanding? Do you have questions? Okay, so let's go ahead. So just like empathy map, you also want to always give your persona a name because it's a real person now. So you want to always give your persona a name. So let's take for instance our persona. Um, let's say we want to use the name Anita. Okay, come out now. So the name of our persona is Anita. So for personas, you always also include the image of that particular person. So also you can, for example, if you conducted an interview with someone you know, you could kindly ask for the person's picture and put there, okay, as a user. So personas include the quotes, the bio, the behavior, the goals, the pain point, and the personality, motivation, and brands of that particular user. Why are you getting all these things? I'll explain them one by one as we continue. So this is Anita. Let's say Anita's favorite quote is keep striving to be good. Okay. So let's imagine that that is what Anita's favorite quote is. So while conducting interviews, you could ask them these questions. Okay. What are your favorite quotes? Then definitely before you conduct this interview, you should know the name of the person, what the person does, where the person works, and the rest, so that you can add as a brief bio of that person. Then the behaviors of the person, what the person likes to do, if she is a team lead, if she's not afraid of working, and the rest. Then the goals of that person. So let's say, what's that quote again I just said now? I can't remember. Oh my god. You guys heard me. Please, what's the quote I said? Okay, strive to be the best. Okay, let's assume this is the quote. Okay, let's assume that is the quote. Then you could try to determine the brands that Anita like. Maybe she likes using Gucci, maybe she likes using Versace, she uses iPhone, be Apple, yeah, Apple. She uses just different brands, Louis Vuitton and the rest. So you add her brands here. So let's go to, I think icons 8 should have those things. So let's see Apple if it is here. I got Okay, let's just go ahead and download it online. Abeg. All right. So network is slow. So how would you know that this person uses this brand? You can observe. You can observe from what the person is wearing. You could ask the person and the rest, okay? And you put it in your persona. So let's assume this person uses these three brands. You could add more if you wish. You could add more if you wish. So these are this person's brand. Now, what is what is Anita's bio? What does Anita do? So you could write, go ahead and write what the person does. You could say Anita is a freelancer. She is passionate. She's this, she's that, and that. You understand what I mean? So the next, you're going to write the behaviors, the behaviors of Anita. The behaviors of Anita, you come down here, you write, she's not afraid of walking, she uses Instagram and Twitter, she presses her phone regularly, she's this, she's that, and that, behaviors. So you write that too. So the next you're writing is the goals. What are Anita's goals? Okay. So after that, you write what are Anita's pain points. What are pain points? These are um, what frustrates, what frustrates or makes your user sad. Okay, so yeah, these are pain points. So you write that too. Then you also write her personality. You could use you write her personality. You could write that okay, she's creative, she's an introvert, she's an extrovert, and the rest. So I'm going to be sending you links of videos that you're going to watch on how to properly create this personality or T. Let's put TTY. So you write down there, and the last you're writing is motivations. Yeah. So these are the things that should be in your personas. Okay. These are the things that should be in your personas. I'm going to show you a post on Behance that would properly show you example of what I'm expecting from you guys. Okay. So see this particular work. I saved it to my mood board. So if you're following me on Behance, you can go to my mood board and see this particular work so that when you're designing your own, you follow this UX case study. Okay. So this is a UX case study for a bookstore, I guess, yeah. A bookstore, an online bookstore. So you can see he listed the problem statement. What is the problem statement for this particular product? Says with the increasing competitive world, maintaining a good work-life balance already, blah, 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 and that. How was he able to get this problem statement? Is from interviews that he has conducted, interviews, observation, and the rest that he has seen from people. So now he knows that people are trying to maintain good work and a challenging life, okay, but they still want to read books, and that is why they are creating this online store. So that is the problem statement. So what is the possible solution? A digital solution or an e-commerce website that can make the presence of book sites online, or that can bring the presence of book sites online. So this is the possible solution to this problem he created. So when you're creating your own, you write your problem statement, you write the possible solution, estimated duration that you use to create that particular product, things you used in conducting your interview, in designing your site, and in designing, making your design, creating your design. Um, yeah, conducting your interview, you use Google Form. Tomorrow I'll be sharing a video that I made. I'm still trying to download it, on how you can create Google Form and conduct interviews. Okay, conduct surveys. So you put your design processes down, discover, define, ideate, design, and test. I think I've explained to you. So you list what you did in the discover phase, what you did in the define phase, what you did in your ideate phase. You can even go ahead and list how you did it. Okay, nobody would hit you. It's just something that when people see, they'll be like, wow, this person actually knows what they're doing. So the scope of your work during your discover phase, what did you do? This person, he conducted stakeholder interview, user research, and the rest. So he defined in the definition stage, what did he do? Defined user group, business goals, and the rest. Okay. He created in the definition phase, he created the persona, empathy map, and the likes. Okay. So in the ideate phase, what did he do? Create user flow. Okay. He did card sorting and information sorting and the rest. Then in the design phase, then he did wireframe and prototyping and the real design. Then the testing phase, what did he do? He tested his prototype, got feedbacks from users again, and yeah, all this took 8 weeks to do. So you design yours too. So yeah, he now outlined the questions he used to get interviews. See all the questions. What are the goals, value, and visions of your company? What are your growth? This is something he asked the stakeholders. Okay, that is the people of the company, people owner of the app. Then these are all his design strategies and the rest. Then he also used qualitative analysis by asking questions such as, how would you describe your typical day? What do you do currently? How often do you read books? And the likes. This is something you ask your users. Okay, then the quantitative analysis, that's conducting survey through Google Form. This is something I'm going to teach you. I'll send you the video tomorrow. But as for physical classes, our online classes, they are ending today. The next thing you're doing is creating your projects for me. And the only way I can help you is if you're stuck in somewhere, you ask questions. I'll give you tons of materials to go through. As a product designer now, you are supposed to know how to make your research. Apart from product designing research, you should know how to use Google very well to get information. Now I've taught you right from the scratch to this phase. This phase is now like the really advanced phase. So by the end of your project, which should end in 2 weeks, you should submit your project in 2 weeks' time. That is when you're graduating. Okay, that's when you're graduating. I should see something very nice. So with Google Form, you can get all this. You can get, these are the answers. These are the answers. So you could shot your screen and add it to your design. Okay. So these are the pain points he got, to say no app other than Amazon is available that sells book. People are angry about that. Says I don't have any good offers or discounts on the multiple purchase of books. Is angry. This person he used for the pain points and the rest. So you can see how precise this is. So see the personas, okay? See the persona. You can see personality, you can see quotes, you can see bio, you can see motivation, goals, pain points, and the likes. So this person used two personas. Remember, I told you not to use too much personas. The highest you should use is five. So this person used two personas. So this is the empathy map. What this particular person says, see, thinks. Here is supposed to be do. I don't know what this person is doing, but yeah, that's it. So these are it. These are, she tries to, for the things, she tries to control her expenditure and think of how to save money to buy valuable products and blah blah blah. So you could just go ahead and read this particular um look at this particular design and see how it was done. Okay, see how it was done. Then this is the user flow. I'll make a video and send to you of how you could use FigJam to create your user flow. Okay, that is when you now start using FigJam. So yeah, so these are the wireframes. Remember, I taught you wireframes. You add them, then the actual designs, the color you used, the text you used, your components, your grid system. You add all these things to your presentation that you're actually going to post. Now, this is the main thing. This is the main project or the product. These are the main screens. He added all this. You see why Behance is good? You see why Behance is good? Now, this is very detailed, and I want you all to give me something as detailed as this. Sorry, he did both for mobile view. You can see it here, and for website view, even a mobile app. Mobile app is different from a website. That's something you should know. Mobile view is different from mobile app. Also know that too. I've shown you how to use mockup. You use mockup here. I've shown you how to do that. So he also penned down his learnings, future concept to develop the app, things you add, and thank you for listening. You can see the views, you can see the likes. Who would see this thing and not like it? Who would see this this design and not like it? It is very detailed and very nice. And for your project, I want you to come up with a concept. You come to me and we discuss about it. You come to me and we discuss about it. We'll work together on the project. I'll work with each and every one of you together on your project. If you're design, you give me edit access. So if you're designing and I see where you need corrections, I'll go ahead and do so. So you come, I'm your stakeholder, okay? You take me as your stakeholder. We'll conduct sessions to know, okay, what you come with your idea. I want to develop, me, I want to develop this particular app. I feel it to be good, this one, that one, that one. And this is the idea I have. These are the type of screens I want to develop. These are the features I want this app to have. So go and think about what you want to design. Every single one of you should have a particular product you're coming up with. So you come to me, we brainstorm, then you go ahead and conduct your interviews. From your interviews, you get the features, create your empathy map, user journeys, and you start the design process. And all these things you have to do it under 2 weeks. By Monday, I want each and every one of you to have your topics. Anybody that passes Monday, I'm not answering that person again. I won't be involved in your this thing. I won't be involved in it. So this is where we are going to end the class for today. I'll send the videos and the links. I'll send the videos and the link. Yes, the class is being recorded, so the video you get it tomorrow. So thank you so much for trusting in me and for following me in this journey, for starting your journey in product design. I'm waiting to create this community of designers with you guys. Okay, so I want to see your project, your project topic. This is like final year, you're graduating. I want to see your project topics and let's start working on it together. All right. So good night, sleep well, and you get the links and videos to everything you need to make research on tomorrow. Bye.